The line quite slow. Okay. Alhamdulillah. Okay. So any one of you can share what do you understand? What do you know about Takaful? Have you learned Takaful before?
Takaful is a Islamic insurance.
Why it is Islamic insurance?
Because in Malaysia we have conventional banking and Islamic banking. So therefore in Islamic banking we need Islamic Takaful insurance.
Okay, what's the difference?
There is a difference because wait as far as I understand for the conventional for Islamic Takaful the risk is sharing among the what the it's a risk sharing. Whereas for conventional
Yes.
is so that's the only thing I can differentiate.
That's correct. Okay, risk sharing and risk transfer. In Takaful, the risk is shared among the participant. We do not call the people that join the Takaful, we do not call them a customer or client, we call them participant because they participate into the scheme. But conventional, we call them policy holder. They hold the policy until something happen to them. They show their policy to the company and they will get a protection. Okay, so in Takaful we call participant because they participate in the schemes whereby each of them will participate and will contribute a portions of money. If anything happens to any one of them, the operator as a manager will use the fund to assist others, to give protections to others. So the sharing of risk is not between the participant and the Takaful operator. No, it is among the participant themselves. Okay, nothing to do with Takaful operator. They just external party to manage the Takaful funds. Okay, that's among the difference lah of the Takaful with the conventional insurance. Okay, any other apa? Anyone else want to share? What do you know about Takaful?
Is the money that they shared among the participants will be used to compensate to those participants who who face any misfortune caused by that can cause any financial impact, so that their loss may be protected. So that's why
Yes.
they are called shared responsibility.
Share responsibility, the concept. Okay, that's correct. Okay, so risk sharing. Okay, any else? Brother Mustafa, Brother Anas. You want to share something?
No, Prof, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. So I just proceed. Okay, with the first chapter. Okay, we will not discuss Takaful yet until we are clear with the concept of risk. Okay, so risk. The first, okay, this one I think I need to download first so that I can view all the contents. Download the concept of risk. What is risk? What is risk? quite slow. Okay. Hmm. Wait ya. Slow sangat ni. Okay, wait. Okay. So, risk, huh? So, what is risk? Is it something that we waiting for? Totally not. Say, why we need insurance or takaful? Because of risk. Okay, if there is no risk, no insurance, no insurance business, no takaful business. Because people or we are so worried about risk. When the risk happens, it will affect our life. It will affect our financial. It will affect our family, isn't it? Our property.
Yes, I think.
Okay. So that is why people looking for, is there any things that can help us to face those risks? Even though we do not expect the risk whether will happen or not in our life, but we are searching for any method or any products or any assistance for us to face the risk so that when the risk happens, we are safe. We are having a peaceful mind. Okay, to live in this world. Okay, so that is why the insurance takaful exists to help or to assist people to face the risk. Yeah, risk something that we do not want to happen. Like here, this is example of risk lah. Kan we never know that we will fall at the road or someone apa someone will hit us from the back kan in the road even though we are so careful driving apa so careful in the road and then someone else hit us kan and then the second one is floodings. We never know this will happen. Yeah, okay, and then there are many other example of risks. Can you give me every one of you I want you to give me example of risk other than this that you have faced in your life? Ah, okay, Brother Mustafa.
A fire accident.
Accident. Yes. Brother Anas. Brother Anas.
I think I took a risk at swimming in a river that like it was floating. So I think that's a risk. Yeah.
Mm-mm. Okay. Sister Amira.
For example, like health our ni our career maybe sometimes for example during COVID-19 we can see many people lost their job. So uh, by Takaful, some Takaful they provide protection for income if I'm not mistaken.
Income protection.
Yeah.
Or financial risk.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Loss of unemployment risk. Okay. Sister Najwa.
The risk on flight, we took flight insurance.
Risk in flight.
Yeah, I mean like
So that one is big risk.
yeah.
Okay. Sister Lok Peng.
Sok Teng.
Sok Teng, I'm so sorry. Let me just write your name.
My English name show that is Esta E, but usually lecturer call me Sok Teng.
Okay, Sok Teng, yeah. Okay, can you give example of risk that have you encountered in your life?
Property risk.
What happened to your property?
Property sometimes we may face some damage.
Okay. Do you prepare for the damages?
Yes, we need insurance to cover our property.
Okay, we call
Yes.
household protections or fire.
Fire.
Fire takaful.
So our property and our car also need insurance.
Yes, first party or third party car insurance need takaful. Okay, very good. So I think you are clear. Okay, everybody are clear with the risk. So now we want to know what exactly the risk is. A situations involving exposure to danger. A probability. It is a probability. Okay, it is not a fix. It is probability or threat of damage, injury, liability, loss, or any other negative occurrence. All negative occurrence. When it is happens, whether there is a damages, injury, or we face a liability, we have to pay to third party that we have caused the injury, for example, kan accident. That is why there is a third party coverage. That is liability, loss or any other negative occurrence. That these are the risks. Yeah? So possibility of harm, injury or loss, possibility of unfavorable outcomes, possibility of unfortunate event. Okay, so we can divide into not divide on the risk, but how to explain what is the risk, peril and hazard. Okay, hazard is the situation that increase the chance of risk to happen, chance of loss. Okay, the peril is the risk itself lah, the main cause of loss, which is the risk. Okay, like a fire, flood, okay, collisions, accident, earthquake, sickness, and premature death. We call death is premature death because maybe we expect that we will die at age 80 years, 80 years old, but we actually die before 80 years, so we call premature. So all death is actually premature, unless we are special, we are given apa sign that we will die tomorrow. So it is death lah, normal. Okay, and then the hazard, the condition or the situations that may increase the chances of risk to happen, like a physical and moral hazard. Physical hazard is something that we can see, that the situations can increase the chance of loss, like a defective wiring in a building that increase the chance of fire. And moral hazard, it is we cannot see the conditions, like intentionally hurt oneself to collect insured claim amounts. We cannot see the hazard here. Then we call moral hazard. Okay, so how to differentiate this? Whether this is a peril or hazard, injured. Uh, what is injured? Is it peril or hazard? Peril is the risk. Hazard is the situations that increase the chance of risk to happen. Is it injured peril?
No, I don't think so.
Ah,
Yeah, I don't. I
ah,
think it's a hazard because injured is caused by something.
So
Yeah.
we may look at the situations. Sometimes injured full stop. So the injured will become peril. Sometimes injured and die. So it
Yeah,
becomes a hazard.
hazard.
Okay. Accident, peril. Or hazard also, isn't it? But basically, if accident is already happens, the loss, the risk as it happens, so we call it as peril. Okay. Uh, Hazard usually the risk is not happen yet. It's just like a situations. Okay. Sorry. Please allow me to. I have to stop for a while because sekejap wait ya. Okay, sorry. Okay, so let's continue. Wait, yeah. And then intentionally untied seatbelt. This one, hazard, isn't it? Okay. And fire. Fire. Is it peril or hazard? Hmm? Brothers and sisters?
Uh, Hazard?
Para?
I think
Uh,
peril.
Para.
Yeah,
Peril.
peril. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it already happens. That the risk of fire. Okay. Smoking. Smoking, peril or hazard?
I think it's peril.
Hazard. Because when you smoke, nothing lost yet, isn't it? But
Yeah.
this habit will cause us apa? Will cause to any illness, isn't it? Just like heart attacks or any cancer, lung cancer, for example. So smoking itself, when people smoke, nothing happens. Meaning that no loss yet, but the situation, the habit, the behavior will increase the chance of risk to happen. Okay,
Mhm.
heart attack, it happens, risk, isn't it? So it is peril. Okay, death, peril. Okay, so peril is the risk itself. Okay, the loss already happened. Okay. Okay, so there are two types of risk. Okay, just bear in mind, not all types of risk will have a coverage from Takaful or insurance. Okay, not all. Only certain types of risk will have a coverage. Okay, to be fair to others, to the participants and also to the Takaful operator lah. So there are two types of risk. The first one is pure risk and second one is speculative risk. Pure risk is pure, original. Okay, the risk that happens originally without our invitation. Okay, so when it is happen, it is possibility that can result in only a loss or break even. If it is happens, we incur loss or we do not incur any loss. Break even lah, no loss at all. Okay, like a flood happens in our apa nama the area, but we are not affected by the flood, so nothing lost. Okay, like an accident, we are lost. We lost our car, something like that. So it is a pure risk. We never expect and we do not invite the risk to happen. How about speculative risk? It is based on the word of speculate. We can speculate that risk to happen to us. So when it is happens, there are three possibilities. Okay, compared to the pure risk, only two. The speculative risk, the result is loss, no loss, break even, or profit. We can profit from the risk. Okay. For example, investment in stock market, foreign currency fluctuations. Okay, we involve in forex, for example. We venture into a new business because to open business is a risk. But we can speculate whether our business will be success or not based on certain factors, isn't it? Okay, so these types of risk we call speculative risk. Okay, risk of in investment, there is a risk in investment, isn't it? But we can speculate based on certain factors because of COVID-19, because of the economic situation, because of certain phenomena happen, something like that. Okay, so the speculative risk basically no coverage from Takaful or insurance. Okay, so only pure risk will be covered. Okay, like a death, like a fire, or the example of the risk that you shared just now. Okay, it is pure risk. Okay, so no, yes, there are coverage for pure risk only. Huh? So far clear? Okay, so types of pure risk. So that is why after this we only focus on pure risk, not speculative risk. We put aside the speculative risk. Now focus on pure risk only. So under pure risk, there are three types of risk. Personal risk, the risk that happens to our personal life, the risk that happens to people life, personal. And second one is property risk that happens to our property, which are two. We have a vehicles, we have a asset, buildings, a house, okay, property, all our property. And the third one is liability risk, is liable, responsible. Okay, a risk that happens to the third party that we are liable to, like we are a businessman, we sell a luxury watch, for example. So and then we prepare a warranty within 1 or 2 years, when the watch is broken, something happens to the watch, so there is a coverage that we prepare, okay, to cover any expenses, any cost that happens to the watch lah, to the goods that we sell. Huh? So liability risk, like in motor Takaful, we have a first party and third party motor coverage. So the third party is the coverage that provided to the third party that injured because of us. Meaning that we are liable to pay all the losses that happens to the third party that caused by us. Okay, that we call liability risk. Okay, we will go one by one after this. Okay, personal risk. There are four types of personal risk. Okay? First one, premature death. Death lah, premature death is death. And second one is insufficient income during retirement. Third one is poor health. And finally is unemployment. All of these risks happens to our personal life. Okay, we will die, no income during retirement is also a risk when we do not prepare properly to face the retirement age. So insufficient income, so there is also a risk to us, and there will be a coverage, a special Takaful product to cater for this risk. Poor health, we get fever, critical illness, so any accidents, it is under health. And unemployment, maybe out of sudden apa because of the economic situations, we are unemployed. Okay, our employer is shutting down the business, we become unemployed, so there is a special coverage for unemployment. For example, the Takaful operator provide 3 months salary, 3 months cash allowance for unemployment. Provided that we show the proof to them, they will pay us, for example, 1,000, 3,000 per month. It depends on the products lah. Usually, the Takaful product is custom made, and it is different among Takaful operator. Okay, we can custom made based on our ability, based on our needs in future, for example. Okay. Okay, so far clear with the personal risk?
Yep.
Okay, good. Okay, second one is property risk. What is property risk? It refers to the possibility of loss due to damage of property. All the risks that related to our property. Two types of risk related to property. The first one is direct loss and indirect loss. Okay, direct loss is direct loss that happens. The physical damage of the property, like we involved with accidents, the car was damaged and it is physical damage. It is direct loss that happens to our property, or house damage due to flood. Okay, direct loss. Indirect loss is a part of the direct loss. There is additional loss that happens to our property. For example, financial loss that result indirectly from the occurrence of a direct physical damage. Like say, uh, okay, the house, the owner would lose income in preparing and repairing the house back to normal state. Like when we involve with accidents, maybe somebody that they come to us and they steal our money, cash. So we lost our money because of accidents. Direct loss is car damage, and indirect loss we lost our wallet, our belongings like a laptop, for example, that we left in our car. Okay, so indirect loss is the loss indirectly happens because of the direct loss. To the original coverage. Okay, so to get that types of protections, we need to pay additional contributions. Okay. Okay, the third one is a liability risk. What is liability risk? Risk of third party bodily injury or property damage that caused by us. We are responsible. Okay, towards the risk. For example, the court may order you to pay substantial damage to the persons you have injured. Huh? So business firm can be held legally liable for defective products that could cause bodily or property damage to consumers who use these products. Can like apa ni beauty products kan, if there is negative effects that caused by the product, so the product owner is responsible to pay for the damages, okay, the loss that happens, to pay to the third party, okay, because they use the products. Okay, this one we call liability risk. Other example is like the university and the students. Okay, the university is liable toward the students. When something happens to the students, okay, the university will be responsible to pay for the damages. Like if we get accidents in the university compound, isn't it? So we have to be admitted to the hospital. So all the costs will be backed by the university. That is why when you register your programs, you need to pay just contributions like 10 ringgit. Okay, so it is subsidized by the university. So it is a takaful, the coverage for the students. The university will give a additional subsidy for that. Okay. Okay, so this one, okay. Now we have done with types of risk. How many types of risk?
Three.
Two.
Two,
Two types
pure,
of risk, isn't
pure,
it? Pure and
Ah, okay. Pure and speculative.
speculative.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, two types of risk, pure and
speculative,
speculative. Which one of the risk will be covered by Takaful?
pure risk.
Pure risk.
Pure risk only. How many types of pure risk?
Three,
Three. Okay. So we have a
liability,
liability,
personal, property,
property,
personnel.
And personal.
personal risk. Okay.
What?
So under personal risk, yes, brother.
What about the? Oh, okay. This one is not. I thought risk in Islam was included.
This one
It's
is
not.
in
Yeah.
Islam. Okay.
Mm,
We do not yet discuss this one lah. Just want to
mm,
recall back what we have discussed.
mm.
Okay. So under personal risk, there are four, isn't it? Under property risk, there are two. Okay. Direct and indirect risk. Okay. So under liability, no lah. No, only one lah, liability risk. Okay. Okay, now risk in Islam, because we will discuss risk from the perspective of takaful, isn't it? So because takaful is Islamic product, so what Islam say about risk? So as a Muslim, Muslim believe the concept of qada and qadar. What is the concept of qada and qadar? Is actually the concept of all that happens to our life is actually planned by our God. Eh? And when it is happens, like say the risk happen, it is happen based on our ability. Meaning to say our God already know that we have capability to face the risk based on the level of our capability. Okay, so that the belief of the Muslim on the concept of risk. Okay, however, okay, we believe that everything that happens to our life is planned by our God. But at the same time, our God wants us to prepare, to make effort to face those risks, those that already planned to our life, to us. Okay, so in Al Quran, Surah Al Ra'ad, okay, verse 11, okay, Allah says, the meaning is for each one are successive angels before and behind him who protect him by the decree of Allah. There is a malaikat, the angel that always will protect us. Eh? We have to believe that. Okay. Indeed, Allah will not change the conditions of people until they change what is in themselves. Okay, wait. Okay. Okay, and when Allah intends for a people ill, there is no repelling it, and there is not for them beside Him any patron. Okay, so even though Allah, there is an angel that will protect us, so everything's Allah, our God will not change the conditions of people, our conditions until they change what is in themselves. Until we make effort. If we just say that Allah will change for us, it will not happen. Until we do some things that then Allah will approve it to be happen. Okay, the thing is Allah observe us. What we have done, what we will do to face all the obstacles, to face all the risks. Okay, so we need to do effort to face the risk, even though He always will always take care of us. There's angels that Allah already given to us to protect us, but we ourselves need to do some things to face the risk. Okay, this is the concept of risk in Islam. So that is why takaful exists. Insurance exists to help us. Then it depends on us whether we want to contribute, we want to subscribe to the product or not. Okay, so all the assistance are there in the market. So if we do not take a step to subscribe to any of the products, so nothing will be changed. Okay. Okay, and then in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 155, and we will surely, we is refer to the God. God will surely test you with something of fear and hunger and a loss of wealth and life and fruits, but give good tidings to the patience. Okay, patient here is not patient just stick, do nothing, no. Okay, the one that is a patient is someone that make effort. Okay, He will surely test us. We, in terms of food, in terms of financial money, food, money, life, eh? And this one food also. Okay, so from many angles, He will test us. But only the one that do some things, make effort will be success. Yeah, the patient here is the ones that do something, not do nothing. Okay, so these are the promise from the God who, when disaster strike them, they say, indeed we belong to Allah and indeed to Him we will return. Okay, we always say this when something happens to us, isn't it? So we believe that everything's from the God and God wants us to do something. And then What else? Those are the ones upon whom are blessing from their Lord and mercy, and it is those who are the rightly guided. Okay, when something happened to us and we always refer to our God, these are among the one that will receive a blessing. Actually, we always remember the God, referring to the God. What anything happens, just pray and referring to the God and do some things and pray. Eh? Those who are the rightly guided. So we want to be among them lah. Okay, I'm so sorry short time because we need to discuss this. Just to understand the concept of risk in Takaful. Okay, because Takaful is Islamic product. So this the spirit the Takaful brought in offering the products. Okay, are you okay?
Is this stated in the Al-Quran or Hadith
Uh,
or?
this one stated in Al-Quran.
Okay, all right.
This one verse in Al-Quran, because in Al-Quran we have 114 surah, the chapter, 114 chapter in Al-Quran. So this one from one of the chapter, the
All right.
first chapter, in Surah Al-Baqarah. Okay, hadith. Okay, hadith is the saying. Hadith is the saying and also basically the practice of the Prophet. The Prophet Muhammad practice. What's the practice of Prophet Muhammad related to the concept of takaful? One day, the Prophet Muhammad noticed a Badawin just left his camel without tying it. Who is Badawin? Badawin is a group of people the traveller, they call Badawin. During the Arab centuries, they call Badawin. It is a traveller. The traveller, they like to move from one place to another place. Okay, the traveller, just because at previous time they use a camel, their main transport. Okay, so Rasulullah saw one Badawin just left his camel without tying it. Without tying, just left like that. So what the Prophet said, okay, Prophet asked the Badawin, why don't you tie your camel first? Okay, you don't scare about the thief that will steal your camel. What the Badawi said, I put my trust in Allah. Badawi said, I have my God, I have Allah, our God, my God will take care of the camel. Okay, then the Prophet said, please tie your camel first and then you put trust in Allah. Meaning to say, you cannot just say it like that without putting any effort. You have to do effort first and you pray. Okay, that is why in the exam, usually the concept of effort, uh, pray and tawakal, trust to Allah is there. Okay, meaning to say we need to make effort first and we pray, then it will happen. But if without effort, we cannot just pray and we trust Allah will take care of it. No, Allah or our God do not want us to do that. Okay, that is why when the Takaful product is there in the market, we need to subscribe first and then we pray that all the obstacles, all the tests, the risks will be far from us. Okay. Okay, is it clear in the hadith that relate to the concept of takaful?
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, tie your camel first. Do effort first, and then pray. Okay. Okay, next. Okay, now, so far we have discussed what is the risk, the types of risk, the concept of risk in Islam. And then now how to handle the method of handling risk. Okay, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 methods of handling risk. When the risk happens, how we handle it. Okay, whether we want to avoid, whether we want to reduce the risk, or we transfer to other party, or we retain the risk and just face the risk. Whatever loss, we just pay, something like that. and also we share with other party the risk. Okay, so 5 methods of handling risk. Okay, the first one, risk avoidance, from the word avoid. Okay, avoid or eliminate the risk. Okay, some risks we can avoid, but certain risks we cannot avoid, like a death. So how to avoid death? We can eat healthy food, we can exercise a lot, but when the time comes, we cannot avoid it, isn't it? Yeah. Uh, so these are maybe risk avoidance only suitable to certain situations, like maybe we want to avoid from getting fever, so we stay at home rather than we go outside in a rainy days and then to go somewhere. Okay. Uh, yeah. So certain situations we can avoid, but certain situations we can't avoid the risk to happen to us. Okay. Okay, this one in the example, not buying high risk shares. This one related to the speculative risk, isn't it? Not buying high risk shares in the stock market to avoid the risk of loss, but also losing out on the potential gains may arise from it. This one example lah from the speculative risk. Yeah. Okay. Risk reductions, or reduce. An action taken to improve the risk to achieve a standard and acceptable level. We reduce the level of risk. Like we do not want to get a fever, we use umbrella. We use a car to travel. Still, we continue traveling. Installing an antivirus software to reduce the risk of a computer getting infection by virus. These are example of risk reductions rather than we do not subscribe to any antivirus. Okay, so we reduce, because sometimes even though we have antivirus in our computer, we still get infected by the virus, isn't it? So we reduce the level of risk. And the third one is risk retention. So retain the risk when risk at an acceptable level. Buying shares and retain it until the price increase. Retain the risk. We still face the risk. For example, it's raining days too. Um, Still, we want to travel outside in the rainy days, but we wait for a while until the heavy rain gets slowly not so heavy lah. Okay, so we still continue the traveling. Yeah, this one risk retention. What else? What else? What yeah? If we are worried on getting COVID-19, okay, but we want to buy something outside, can we still have the risk of COVID-19 get affected by the COVID-19, but we use mask, face shield. Okay, we use a hand sanitizer, for example. Okay, the risk is there, but we do uh, something to reduce this risk. Okay, risk retention. Okay, risk transfer is easy. We transfer the risk to others. Transferring the risk to an organization or individual. Losses will be paid by the organization or individual to whom the risk is transferred. There are two ways to transfer the risk. The first one, insurance contracts. We transfer our risk of car, apa nama dia, damage to insurance company. A car owner can transfer the risk of loss incurred when his car is destroyed by road accident by entering into a car accident insurance contracts. Okay, so when we buy the insurance products or insurance contract, we basically transfer our risk to the company, insurance company. Okay, no matter type of business, depends on the product we subscribe. So when it is happens, the company will pay on our behalf, meaning to say our risk already transferred to the company. Okay, non-insurance contract, for example, a car manufacturer can transfer potential risks arising from the sales of defective products by entering into agreement whereby the car component and spare part supplier agrees to compensate the car manufacturer from any liability arising from defective products. This one transfer. We transfer the risk through agreement. Through agreement. Okay. Like if we rent our car to third party, kan? So usually basically that car belong to us. If anything happen to the car, that is our responsibility to pay for the loss. But in the rental agreement, like sewa kereta, rental agreement, in the agreement say if anything happens to the car during the period of rental, like 1 hour, 2 hours, or 1 day of rental, so the apa nama dia, rental we have not tenant, siapa nama dia, um, cakap siapa, the one that rent our car will be responsible to pay for the losses. Okay, so through agreement, the risk is transferred. Okay, hirer and hiree. Hiree. Okay, and then the last one is risk sharing. We share the risk to other parties. Okay, so in Islam does not allow risk to be exchanged. Islam basically do not want us to transfer our risk because that risk is meant for us. Okay, we cannot transfer the risk to third party. It is unfair. Okay, it is unfair and may be lead to an even burden of claims beyond the original intentions of the insurer or charges of unacceptable level of premium to the insured. Like usually when the car accident happens, if the workshops will put a very high price of apa nama dia, expenses, okay, to cover the car. So they will charge a higher price to the insurance company because they know that the insurance company will pay for it, not the car owner. Okay, also similar with if we admitted to the hospital, all the hospital bills, when the hospital know that the bills will be paid by the company, there will be a different price. Okay, so different when we inform the hospital that we do not have coverage. The bill will be paid ourselves. So different price to self paid compared to the company coverage. Okay, different. So in this case, when we transfer the risk to a third party, high price, it is unfair to them because they are not involved with the risk. Other party that face the risk but they have to pay. But in exchange, that party need to pay a high premium. Okay, so this practice or this concept is said to be unfair to all parties. Okay, that is why Allah or the God want us, Islam want us to share the risk to others. Huh? So as an alternative, individual or organization can share the risk with others who have a similar nature of risk. Okay, through Takaful. Takaful is not only a sharing of risk, there is other elements that promoted by Takaful, like when the participants they pay contributions, they basically do not pay the contributions on for themselves. Okay, for themselves. Actually, the concept is tabarruk. Tabarruk is donations. When they pay contributions, they have to have kinds of intentions like they donate their money, okay, to others. That is why when nothing happened to them, they are not so regret. Okay, because they cannot they cannot pay any claims on the protections. Okay, so that's the I think the main difference lah, the concept of contributions in the government or derma tabaruk concept. Okay, so five.
Sir,
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I have a question here.
Okay.
About the risk sharing. Just now you mentioned that if we go to hospital, if
Mm-hmm.
uh, if we mention that we will pay our medical charges by our own, then the fees will be cheaper compared to company, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
So what about if we claim under company? So what's the difference between conventional and Takaful? Let's say if we claim under conventional company, so the risk will be definitely passed to the conventional company to liable for our medical fees. So what's the difference between if we buy Takaful for our medical? Is that
Mm.
what we call risk sharing? Can you elaborate this? I'm not very
Okay.
understand.
Okay, thank you. It's a good questions basically. Okay. These are the theory. The theory on the how takaful should be treated, how takaful promote the concept of fairness lah. Okay, but in the market practice, because the difference in between takaful and conventional insurance, okay, is basically in terms of theory. It's supposed to be in terms of practice too. Okay, some practice a difference, and then the thing is, in Takaful, it is about the same. The the hospital, uh, when they ask us to pay, they ask us whether we want to pay ourselves or we use Takaful or conventional insurance. The treatment is also same, like if the Takaful operator pay on our behalf, they will be higher, and if we pay ourselves will be cheaper, the bills. Okay, so that is the market practice. The market practice, meaning to say, to be competitive, the price will be like at par at the market price. No different between takaful and conventional insurance. Okay, so the thing, the theoretical part, there will be a difference in terms of the contracts, in terms of the how the business is run, more elements of fairness lah, like say in apa nama dia, claim process, the takaful operator need to ensure that the claims are basically fair, true claims that submitted by the customer. But in terms of pricings, I can say no difference between takaful and conventional insurance. Need to say, the treatment is when the hospital know that the company will pay, regardless the conventional insurance or takaful, there will be a higher price compared to our own apa ni, our claim. Okay, do you get it, sister?
Meaning that theoretically
Hmm.
theoretically
Hmm.
there's no difference, but in concept there is a difference.
Theoretical difference, the
Oh,
concept difference, the
okay.
practice slightly similar.
Oh, okay.
Ah, okay. Because Takaful is Islamic insurance. The concept of insurance is still there.
Okay.
The concept of insurance still there.
Okay.
But the Takaful is insurance business is run Islamically. It's
Okay.
run Islamically. So there is a monitoring in terms of compliancy. The investment must be Sharia compliant investments, and there are other Islamic elements that will be monitored by central banks when the takaful operator run this business compared to the conventional one.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. So we proceed. Okay. So now what is insurance? Let me see how many slides more. Because I think this one need to have, is it enough for today for you to, okay, because I think this, the the remaining chapter, the remaining topics, I think need to have separate sessions, because I want you to digest the concept of risk and how to handle the risk. Okay, this one quite lengthy. the discussion on this. Okay. Do you have any other questions, brothers and sisters?
No, no.
Or do you want to, maybe we can continue what is insurance, okay? Later on, we will continue what's the difference between insurance and conventional insurance, the difference between insurance and takaful, deeply. So what is insurance? Let's just continue a bit. What is insurance? Insurance is a contract between policyholder and insurer. And policyholder and insurer, customer and insurance company. The consequences of this contract, consequences of loss are transferred to the insurer or the company, and the insurer promised to pay for the consequences. These are the contract of insurance. Contract of insurance will involve insurer and insured. Insurer is insurance company, insured is the customer. Okay. In Takaful, it is Takaful contract between the participant and Takaful operator. Okay, Takaful operator is just operate the business, and the participants they participate into the scheme. Okay, not uh, compared to the conventional insurance, the company become insurer. In Takaful, the participant become insurer. Okay, it is a contract among insurers in Takaful. Okay, so I think maybe I will use virtual board for you to explain the difference between insurance and Takaful later on. Okay, the different terms and the different practice, the different contract that apply in insurance and also in Takaful. Okay, is it okay if we just postpone the today meeting and today topic?
Yes, Doctor.
Okay.
Kan? Kalau lama-lama sangat nanti ni susah pula. Okay. Because this is a very important topic to discuss. Because when we discuss about takaful and people want to know what's the difference between takaful and conventional insurance, why we want to study takaful, why the takaful exists, what are the important elements, the value of takaful itself. Okay. Okay. Now you cannot see my slide, isn't it?
Yeah, no slide.
Okay. Let me go back to the meeting. Okay. Okay. So, anything that you want to share? Or any questions so far? We
No.
start at 2, now 2, 3. Okay, about 1 hour 40 minutes. Okay lah, I think that's enough. Okay, that's enough for today. In case you have any other question, you can post it at WhatsApp, at Google Classroom. Okay, I will share this this record in your Google Classroom later. Okay.
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 Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, you're
Sorry,
welcome. Yes, brother.
is it the same slide? Because one of the slides that I just opened
Hmm?
doesn't have some of the I mean it's the same thing, but some of the contents are missing. So I'm thinking that some of the contents are missing from what you are presenting now. I'm talking about
Okay.
the ones that are posted on the Google Classroom itself.
Okay, I will double check the slide that I posted in Google Classrooms. Sometimes the content is missing if you open the slide directly in your Google. Maybe you can just right click on the slide, okay,
Okay.
and then open new tab.
Okay. I'll do that
When
now.
you open your tab and then you download, then you will get 100% the full versions of
Okay.
the slide together with
Okay.
the content. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for questions. Okay, so I think that's all for today. Okay,
Okay.
and thank you for your participations, good participations, good question asked. Okay, I love this. these sessions. So inshallah we will enhance more our class in future. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you,
Waalaikumsalam.
Doctor.
Thank you, madam.
Welcome.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay.